This is not going to be a long video because I spent the last month and a half, 2 months to actually, yeah, more than 2 months. I've been watching a handful of episodes. Now, most of these shows, you've already seen them, it's new to you, whatever. Um, some of them have ended early, some of them not. Um, but I'm just going to throw these reviews very quickly up there and I'll tell you what I think of them and we'll just go from there. And there's a new batch of stuff I'm going to be watching for the new year, but I'm going to just catch up on old movies. I caught up recently watching Mystery Men. Mystery Men that came before Avengers, Fantastic Four, X-Men, Justice League, Suicide Squad. This was like the original, comedy show, comedy movie. And it had Paul Rubens and it had Janine Garofalo. So I watched that, and that was a good time. The last time I saw Mystery Men was actually in 1999 in a movie theater. I never bought it on tape. I never bought it on DVD or 4K, Blu-ray, none of that stuff. And I was very lucky to just watch it again for the first time in almost 25 years. You don't know how much that meant a lot to me. Even though it was a dumb comedy superhero movie, that movie came before anything. The X-Men movie wasn't even out yet. Hell, I don't even know if the Star Wars, I think the Star Wars prequels were starting already. The Phantom Menace and all that. So yeah, good times. Very good times. So let's go ahead to the recent stuff. Now I'll tell you, Wednesday was a nice surprise. This is done by the showrunner, well, obviously Tim Burton, right? I remember talking it over with my patient advocate who supplies my medications every month. Um, she didn't think it was going to be a grand idea for Tim Burton to have done a stop motion Addams Family movie. I disagreed. I thought Henry Selick, who directed Coraline, would have done a fantastic job on that. But that alternate universe has come and gone. If somebody does have Henry Selick directing the Addams Family from an alternate universe, please present it to me. I would love to see that. Um, but Alfred Gow and Miles Miller, who did Smallville, they were the showrunners for this. They worked hard on these episodes. So all I could think of was Smallville, teases of Superman, but here you have teases of the Addams Family. And except for Granny Adams, we meet everybody. Or we don't see Cousin It. Maybe we'll see Cousin It next season. But we have Wednesday. We have the Thing, and we are introduced to. So it's very much like Smallville High, but instead of Smallville High, crows and all that in Kansas, we're going to a very gothic. I know they probably. I bet Miles Miller is like, think of it like Harry Potter, but without the Harry Potter. No Harry Potter, just stuff. So enemies become friends, friends become faster friends. It's mostly like mystery solving. That's how it is. I mean, she gets her mystery solving from Scooby Doo, I guess. I guess if you had the other showrunners for Smallville, they would have like crossed over with Scooby Doo, and it would have been more flashier. But yeah, so you got Wednesday, you got Uncle Fester, you got, and I cannot look. I love Jenna Ortega as Wednesday, and I guess what's her name? She does fine as Morticia, right? That actress that we don't mention much anymore. The one married to uh, God, what's his face? I don't even remember. Old Hollywood. Michael, whatever his name is, Michael's husband. That person. I forgot her name. And she has raven hair. And I forgot her name. Anyway. I want to say Michael Gibson, but that's not his name. Jesus. Oh, Michael Douglas. Yeah. Michael Douglas's wife. Yeah. That person. Who I can't remember her name anymore. So she does fine as Morticia. And then you got Luis Guzman as fucking Gomez. And there's no fucking way you're going to make me accept that. I can't. Now, I think of, I go back to Raul Julia, but Raul Julia was more serious, more romantic, he would be in his 80s. Anyway, but I'm not saying that. Yeah, yeah. You go back. Gow and Miller would say, well, you go back to the original art that Charles Adams made, and he was a plump, fat guy, right? Yeah, but like there was something about Gomez that was more. He was more serious, but the humor came through the things he said and the things he did. Every time I see Louis Guzman talking, I just want to start laughing because he's. Everybody would talk about the Lower East Side Manhattan that he's from, and I just think, oh God, there's no way you're going to convince me of shit. But anyway, the youngsters, the 20-year-olds that are hot for each other. You got the sheriff, you got the mayor, you got the governor, you got everybody. You got the dean. So everybody's there. Everyone is here like it's Smash. So I give this one an A+. I love it. I hope to see Jenna again for season 2. One Piece. So my only knowledge with One Piece has been a little bit of the cartoon from Fox Kids, Fox Box, probably CW4 Kids. And I really enjoyed it. Let me tell you, um, look, we know a lot of times that the geeks and gamers, very right wing, they grift a lot. Well, even they like this show, okay? They like the show, they like One Piece, so they're not upset with this, okay? But they're not there to promote virtue signaling or identity politics. And I think when you do identity politics done right, I mean, you have a Mexican actor playing the piece of, like, when you think of Luffy, you think only a Japanese actor could play Luffy. Somebody Japanese American, somebody Caucasian, Asian looking. And this guy came and proved everybody wrong. He really, really was that kind of. You know what it reminds me of? If you ever saw the live action Tick with Patrick Warburton, like he's almost a sociopathic. You know, he's almost sociopathic in his ways. Uh, he has no feeling of a girlfriend or romantic ties. Like he had a childhood and he had father figures, but honestly, it was like all he wants to be is king of the fucking pirates. He was reincarnated from a guy who was executed at the beginning of the show, and it plays out just like the origin story, right? And I even saw a segment where this actor met the original voice actor for Luffy in the Japanese language voice actor. It was a great moment. And you got um, Nami, you got who is platonic. It's all platonic, and he keeps it platonic with everyone. All he cares about is that everybody fulfills their dreams. So you got the pretty girl, you got the brave guy with the swords. I forget his name. You got the cook. Uh, it kind of reminds me of Batmanuel and Arthur from the Tick. Arthur would be the Marine kid, the one that works with the grandfather of Luffy. So the kid with the glasses, the one that Luffy first finds but loses because he's going to join the Marines and not be a pirate. He reminds me of Arthur from the Tick, and Luffy reminds me of the Tick. It's just there's just these weird characters. Sometimes you see the same characters in one thing to another thing. It's kind of like Sanford and Son, right? Uh, Joey Diaz and Lee Syatt. You see this fat comedian and his sidekick pal, and people just identify with that immediately because it reminds them of something they've seen before, decades before. So I see characterizations all the time, but instead of a situational comedy where they're at home, they go on ships and they go. You kind of have to see it the way I've been seeing it. When I see those kinds of characterizations, I just kind of like it. I like the way it is. I like the way it feels grounded. And yet they get on these weird adventures. You got that, what is it, those talking snail telephones, and you got these different pirates that they meet along the way. So yeah, this is a great show. So Wednesday's going to have a season 2, and One Piece live action will have a season two. There's a 20th season coming out on Netflix for the anime series. I might catch up on it. I might not. I don't know. That's in January. So if I were to give I would say I would give an A plus. I would give this one an A plus as well. I'll tell you, I had fun with this one. At least the first two seasons. The third one's a little bit iffy. As of this recording, I have yet to see season four. But it is loosely based on Symphony of the Night, more Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse. I will say that it was fun to watch it. The first season was introducing all three characters to know each other. The first season was a great introduction. And the second season had Dracula. And Dracula was kind of like half a person by this point. It's a love story gone wrong in which, because Dracula and took on a human wife, and she was killed. She was never turned into a vampire, but she was killed by the Catholic Church, and so Dracula exacted his revenge by attempting to wipe out all humanity, especially the Catholic Church, for his demonic army, which was pretty good. I mean, it's a pretty good story when you get around to it, right? So, but then we get to season 3, where you have all these harlots who are vampires. You got one guy whose job it was to craft, reanimate the animals from the dead, and he was treated as a love slave. Then you have a threesome gone wrong. You got somebody trying to bring back a creature from the dead or into this world, and the plot was just all over the place. Season 3 was probably like awful. Season 4, I don't know how that's going to look. Warren Ellis doesn't want to do any more after season 4. Judging by the first two seasons, I think you had it right. Season 3 could have been something else. I mean, you could have taken the plot to Castlevania 64, in which old Dracula's dead, but now there's a new Dracula. And it was a kid, and, he becomes the new Dracula and stuff like that. There could have been a number of things. I don't know. But it was fun to watch those first two seasons and really get engaged in it. But the third season was rather pointless, rather dumb. The way it is that Trevor Belmont, no, Simon Belmont mentioned. I don't know if they have the rights to Simon Belmont or not. You have Sophia Belnades and Alucard. And Sophia is, the two of them become a couple. Not Alucard, but Trevor Belmont and Sophia. And so, it's fun. I would say I would give the first two about an A, and the third season will get a C or a C minus. It's terrible. You could skip season 3. Season 4, I don't know what's happening with that. All right, one more thing to look at. He had a $1 bill in his wallet. Unsolved Mysteries. He never folded money in his wallet. So yeah, I mean, if you like the Robert Stack. Hello, young man. Yes, we've got some unsolved mysteries, and we have a lot to look at. What's with these smartphones they do today? I don't understand. So, there's some good episodes, and most of these are like unsolved murders. Like something's not right, but the way they do it, it's just so bizarre. So, I really enjoy them. These are Netflix exclusive episodes, so. I really am enjoying just listening to it. Sometimes I just need a break from the story-driven stuff and just kind of look at real life. Real life is scary, isn't it? So I give them A, somewhere between A's and B minuses, only because I've seen them before. There's one where it's about UFOs and like people get abducted by spaceships. Now, I don't know, it's always white people, isn't it? It's always white people getting abducted by aliens. If it were me and I'm getting abducted, I want to grab the first thing that I see. Is that I'm taking this with me. Okay, like an alien pencil, an alien television set, like, okay, let's let's just be like little thieves, like little children in the candy store. Okay, let's just grab something. Okay, and then when we come back from their spaceship onto the ground, then we'll be like, hey, look, we got proof, we got something. But all we ever see are like all these stories, and I don't know. I really don't. So there are those kinds of stories, and then there are other ones where it's like somebody died a horrible death, but nobody can figure out exactly how the body was disposed of, or what method was used, or what exactly happened. But one guy killed his whole family, and then just completely took off. And because he doesn't look distinguishable from other people, like he basically got away with killing his whole family and the dogs. And this guy was in France. There's all kinds of grim stories. All right, those are my Netflix picks. Let me know what your Netflix picks are. I might be looking at the cyberpunk cartoon Sandman, Yu Yu Hakusho. I'll see how that goes. All right, whatever.